realize we were getting 2 feet of snow. Usually they give us like a week's notice so we can all go to the stores, buy crap we don't need, mentally prepare. Dude, I went into, like, when the USA won the gold, and we'll get to that in a few minutes.
Where, does Shaun have his jersey on?
No.
Shaun doesn't have his USA jersey on. I got mine on.
Do you?
How about that, Shaun?
Yeah.
How about Didn't I call it? Right? Kenny Albert calling Jack Hughes game winner in overtime. USA, Shaun. You non-American.
I'm an American. Let's go USA. What a win.
You know what? Forget the snow. We'll get to it later. You're fired up, Tiki.
Of course how could you not? I don't know if I realized. I don't think I realized that we hadn't won since 1980.
Yeah.
It popped up and it was, 19. How did we not win one in between? I know we had gotten close, maybe got silver or whatever it had been, but I don't think I'd realized we hadn't won since 1980. And then to win in that fashion was absolutely outstanding and awesome to happen, especially because we were just talking about Jack Hughes.
Yes.
And how it was hard for Shaun to root for a devil when he'd rather be rooting for the Rangers as opposed to Team USA. So I couldn't help but write you immediately, Shaun.
So how'd you take it then, Shaun? Because we did win the gold. I know you were rooting for Team USA despite not being that into this. Did it bother you that missing tooth Jack Hughes was an American hero?
It didn't bother me until he started to get interviewed and he was saying all the right things after the game. And then I immediately turned from, this kind of sucks.
Yeah, but Shaun,
I was into it. I was rooting for
he's
it.
going to be the national hero.
I know.
For a long time.
I know, but there was a moment in this game, Tiki, and I think it was late in the third period where Jack Hughes takes the penalty. And the Canadians are going on the power play. And I'm thinking to myself, this freaking guy is going to be the reason they lose this game. And I'm not going to lie, as much as I was rooting for USA, I'm like, wouldn't that be so apropos and funny? Instead, it's the reverse. He ends up being the hero in overtime. And I'm like, I celebrated. And then afterwards, I just kind of felt like, this is stupid.
You felt that was the worst take I ever had in my life. Why did I try to die on the anti-USA at the Olympics sword? Why?
Yeah, I got a Ranger coach who I can't stand and a GM to put together the team while the Devil's the hero. It didn't make me feel, great. Like, good for America, but whatever.
So you weren't chugging beer celebrating at 11 a.m. when we won the gold medal?
No, I was worried around getting snow preparations, figuring out my house. And maybe that was part of it. Maybe I watched this game kind of with a hate watch. Right. The snow had pissed me off kind of attitude. But I don't know. In the end, my life didn't change for the better or the worse because the Americans won a hockey game yesterday.
I have to be honest, Tiki. I think I'm in the middle between the two of you guys. So game starts at 8 a.m. I went about my Sunday morning business, which is, all right, this is my time to take my kids to get haircuts because I can't do it during the week. Mm-hmm. This is my time to take one of my kids to like a baseball practice inside a dome that they have.
And apparently we're going to be snowed in for 3 days. So.
Which, by the way, I still didn't realize on Sunday morning. That's how clueless I was about the snow. I swear to God, I was so not engaged in the news that I didn't realize we were going to get flooded with snow until Sunday afternoon. Until I made the faithful decision to sleep with Shaun Morash last night. It all happened at a very last second basis, but we'll get to that later. So I'm going about my business, and I put the game on my phone. I was interested to watch the game.
Right.
I wasn't over the top I'm going to DVR this because I need to see every second.
Right.
But I found myself watching the game, and when Jack Hughes scored the game-winning goal in overtime on 3-on-3, which I'm not a huge fan of, but we'll get to that later, I was excited. Why wouldn't I be? I'm an American. They got the USA across the chest. I'm aware of who these players are. I think a lot of times with the Olympics, when it's the amateurs, you really don't know who any of these people are. I know who a lot of these guys are. They're superstars. They're great hockey players. It was a great game. It was a great win, and I was excited. I was like, yeah, we won, gold medal. Here's where it stopped for me. I think about 10 minutes later, I was like, okay. And I think the reason I couldn't continue the enthusiasm even into today. And I respect those that do. I heard Boomer earlier. He's pumped up. God bless him. I hear you right now, pumped up. God bless him. I got nothing against it. I think what hit me, and I'm not sure if other people feel this way, is that I invested a few days into this tournament, not a few months. And when you're a Jet fan or a Giant fan or a Knick fan or a Yankee fan or you're a Met fan, and you sit through countless regular season games, horrible moments, good moments, bad moments, indifferent moments, boring moments, exciting moments, the payoff at the end is this long story, this really long, winding road. And while the Olympics were awesome, I am not ripping how exciting these games were, and they were incredibly exciting, I realized that I only invested a few days in it. And so it's tough to have the same satisfaction when, you were invested for a week. And anyone else who was watching it, that's pretty much it. I mean, unless you want to include past tournaments, I guess, into it, which I don't think you can.
Which nobody watched, right? The lead-ups and everything of that matter, whether it was the but here's the difference. And I think we figured this out, Shaun and I texting over the weekend. Shaun is a diehard. I don't know. I don't think you're a diehard, Evan.
No, I'm not.
Like,
I'm more of a basketball guy, yeah.
Yeah, you like basketball. You like hockey, but you're not living and dying by what happens to your hockey team,
right.
the Island in this case. And I'm not that way either. Like, the Devils stink this year. It's like I'm barely paying attention. And so as a non-diehard, I care about Team USA. As a diehard, you care about your team. And so the difference is, especially in New York, there's a lot of sports fans who are kind of just casual hockey fans.
Right.
And so Team USA is a big deal. Rangers, Devils, Islanders, maybe not so much. But Team USA is a big deal to the casual sports fan because you can, Evan, as you were just mentioning, just hop in. You hop in, you hop out.
Right. It's quick.
And it's quick, and it's over, and you celebrate because Team USA beat Canada.
Yeah. I mean, I would just say I don't get the emotion attachment. Like, I get rooting for your country, and I get being fired up as like a hockey fan like that, but I don't know, man. When I'm arguing with people yesterday when I felt that way about Jack Hughes, it's like, well, the USA comes before everything. Like, yeah, in life it does.
Right.
But I don't know. As a hockey fan, like, let's go. Let's get back to the NHL now. But it's kind of like almost like feeling like from a fan perspective, it's like a cheap championship, you know? Well, you don't have the same emotional attachment here.
Well, hold on. Do you think Jack Hughes is going to look at 2025, 5-6 now as a successful hockey season?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. It's life-changing for him.
And are the Devils any good?
No.
Exactly. But it's a successful, life-changing hockey season for Jack Hughes.
What's fascinating about that, and that's a great point because you're right, and you could see the emotion in Jack's post-game interview. It was awesome. He said all the right things, how proud he was being an American, competing for your country with USA across the chest. You're 1,000% right, but you know what the hypocrisy is of every single person out there?
Go ahead.
If Aaron Judge, after winning the World Baseball Classic, said, hey, this is the greatest thing in the world. And
That's
you
true.
said the same thing. Hey, is it a successful season for Judge because they won the WBC no matter what the Yankees do?
Right.
Yankee fans would scream and yell, no way.
Course.
In basketball, same thing.
100%.
Like if the USA wins an Olympic championship and you ask that question about Jalen Brunson, the answer is going to be, well, it's what you do for the Knicks. So hockey is different in that regard.
No,
it just
you're right.
is. And
and you know why, Evan? I think it's because we don't really know how to talk hockey. Like, we know how to talk baseball. We do it every single day, almost, especially with our two teams and the turmoil or the successes, whatever you want to say it is, the interest in both of our baseball teams. Basketball with the Knicks, it's the same way, especially once you get closer to the postseason. But with hockey, who knows? Nobody knows how to talk hockey. Even if you like hockey, you don't know how to talk hockey. And so it's different. It's a different sport you can easily jump into.
you know what I think it is, though? I think it's also like a pride in the sport because, you're talking about diehards versus non-diehards when it came to the Olympics. A lot of diehard hockey fans were living and dying, no pun intended, with this game. I mean, Boomer Esiason's a great example of it. And I think a lot of it is a pride in the sport because it is a moment in which hockey takes center stage, which, let's be honest, it doesn't even do that in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Right.
Like, it's always second fiddle to, even if the Rangers are going on a run, it's a big deal, but the Knicks are a bigger deal. This is the one time where hockey is the number one sport in America. It happens during the Olympics. It happened back in 2010. I'll never forget that classic between USA, Canada, and Sidney Crosby scored the game-winning goal. It was almost similar in a lot of ways. Even though it was 16 years ago, it was us versus them, and it was the number one story. So I also think the other part of it is baseball fans and basketball fans aren't trying to up their sport. They're just enjoying their sport. And I think a lot of times with hockey, it's about, see, look how great this sport is. See, this is awesome. And I think that's another part of it. And I'm not poo-pooing what happened yesterday because it was awesome. I watched it. I was happy. I'm glad USA won, especially the postgame stuff. What happened with Goudreau and his family. I mean, if you don't tear up, something's wrong with you. Right. It was unbelievable, but it made me realize it was a couple days and we move on. And if you ask a Devil fan, and that's probably the best question, Tiki.
Ooh.
If you ask a Devil fan, forget this season, because this season feels like a lost year. Right. They're 11 points out of a playoff spot. They're not making the postseason. But if I ask a Devil fan, if you ask a Devil fan, Jack Hughes' career is complete former number 1 overall pick, all the hype in the world, Hall of Fame player, great player. We all love Jack Hughes, American hero. If his career ends and they never win a Stanley Cup, will the Devil fans say, you know what? No biggie.
Yeah.
No biggie. We got that gold medal back in 2026.
No, they won't. This is the Carmelo Anthony thing, and he's got multiple gold medals, right? And he's had a really great Hall of Fame career, but there's no New York Knicks championship, and so you love him, you revere him. He's a star, a superstar. Now he's great on television now, but you don't look at him as the ultimate champion. You look at him as a great player who couldn't win the championship.
But I also think a part of that goes back to the difference between hockey and these other sports. Now, I get baseball has a WBC, and the biggest retort to the WBC is it's a made-up tournament. Okay. Yeah. Well, the Olympics occur in 2028. Baseball's coming back to the Olympics in 2028. If major leaguers were there and we were competing for the gold, I don't think it would resonate like this. And I give you another theory along with kind of the hockey pride that we have. Hockey is not our sport, and we took it from our neighbor. Yeah. And while we're friends with Canada, despite some of the rhetoric over the last few months, they are our friends. We love Canada. There's nothing better than taking something from somebody else.
Right.
Basketball is our sport. Baseball, despite Japan beating us in the WBC, is our sport. It's almost you better win the gold medal. Yeah. It's a disaster if you don't. While with hockey, it's like, you see what we did?
It's an element of upset.
Yes, we took it from them. And so I think with baseball and basketball, and even football, I know they're doing the flag football in 2028, people will watch it and they'll root for it, but there's almost this fear of we can't lose. While with hockey, it was, hey, it's awesome, we won. And I think that's another difference.
No, I think you're right about that. We're supposed to win. If we lose flag football, I could see us losing flag football, by the way. I don't know why, because it's just I don't know. It's just such a different sport than what football players are taught how to do. You know what I mean? It's if someone's coming towards, knock the crap out of them. Flag football is like, you can't really hit them. Just make sure you grab the flag. It's just, I don't know. I could see us losing. So to your point, Evan, I'm fearful of us losing flag football in the Olympics in 2028.
And that's different than what we just did.
Right. If we lost yesterday, it would have been a no biggie.
Yeah. I mean, you remember 2010? Because that was... When I think of the Olympics, the modern Olympics in terms of what I saw, because 1980, I wasn't born yet. I think you were too young to really understand it, right, Tiki, in 1980?
Yeah, I was 5.
You were 5. Like, it's history. It's awesome history, but it's not history we're familiar with. When I think of Olympic hockey, I think of Sidney Crosby. I hate to say it. Beating us in overtime. Now, we were able to pay them back with Jack Hughes yesterday, which is awesome, but I think of that all those years ago. And I remember after we lost, it was, you know what? Canada couldn't lose because Canada lost.
It's funny you say that, Evan, because it's not even top of mind.
Really?
No, for me. And when you start talking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. But it doesn't sit top of mind. This will sit top of mind though, because it was a massive upset.
Well, you know what's funny? It wasn't even that massive an upset when you consider the stars that we have. I think it's a massive upset in terms of that's their sport and we beat them.
Right.
But not in terms of talent. And that's why 1980 is so different, because you're talking about amateurs. You're talking about kind of the world being so different with the Cold War and the Soviet Union and how much better they were, and they were bigger and they were stronger. So it's different on every level. And we had an all-star team out there. Like, a part of the reason why this was so entertaining was the fact that it was an all-star game. Like, what we witnessed yesterday, and think about how rare this is. It was an all-star game in which guys were losing their teeth. It was an all-star game in which guys were leaving it all on the field. We have all-star games in basketball, all-star games in baseball. We used to have a Pro Bowl. And while there's effort levels that are better, like we saw Wembanyama try during the NBA, but this is on another level.
Yeah.
Like, guys were willing to get stretchered off in this game. So what made it so entertaining, and there's no denying it was wildly entertaining, was we saw the best in the world compete as if life was on the line.
Yeah.
And that part is very tough to replicate, which is why it was awesome. I'm not denying that. But it's also, a couple hours later, I'm moving on.
Yeah. No, but I can see why this is, for the athletes themselves, why it's such a big... Because think about how the emotion that you see... I forget the girl that won the figure skating, the free skate, with the tied...
Allie.
Allie. She had the two-tone hair.
Allie Lou?
Yeah. Her emotion was amazing. Right after she won the gold medal, And you think of it from an individual standpoint, it's the same thing for the hockey players, right? That's exactly the same feeling that they all have. And who was it that was saying, they was mouthing, they were doing a lip reading? He was like,
it was
I'm getting effed up
Vincent
tonight.
Trocheck of the Rangers.
Trocheck, exactly. I'm getting effed up tonight. But that's just, that's got to be an amazing feeling to win a gold medal.
Oh,
for
no
your
doubt.
country.
No doubt. And nothing, it can't take anything away from them. I mean, that's awesome to win a gold medal, to beat Canada, to do it on the biggest stage, to do it with eyeballs all over at 9 o'clock in the morning. It was an awesome, awesome moment. There's no denying that. But I wonder if I'm alone in that. I enjoyed it. And then an hour later, I kind of just moved on. I was like, yeah, that was a fun thing to watch. It's like an entertaining TV show. Right. You watch it, you enjoy it, you consume it. But I can't pretend to you, because it would be pretending like this is similar to watching one of my teams win a championship.
It's not.
It's not.
We're here on Monday. It's not. It's just not. And I think that's what bothered me too. This is where the country comes first. But does it? Does it come first over your pro
For the
team?
casual fan.
For the
Sean
casual,
Evan,
okay.
I think it does.
Okay.
I think it does.
I don't know. I don't feel like I got a championship chip today as a fan.
See, look, here's the thing. People are going to remember Jack Hughes. Like he's the devil. The casual fan's going to watch the Devils and be like, oh, that's a guy who won the gold medal or helped the U.S. win the gold medal. He had the game winner. And so I just feel like it elevates in different ways when it's a young kid who's a New York-based athlete, and he was responsible for helping this team win a gold medal. I think he'll be a star. Like, he'll be legendary.
Well, and that picture is going to live on forever with
100%.
It's a legendary picture. I think the difference between you and I, Sean, and Tiki and you is that there was no he's a devil in my brain as I'm watching him play hocky.
That's the only thing I thought about as soon as he scored the goal.
I'm sure. Well, you're a Devil fan. That's a little bit different.
Because I live in New Jersey.
Right.
Yes. But only because of the conversation we had last week. It's the only reason it jumped right to my mind is because Sean and his anti-devil, anti-Americanism.
Yeah, totally. You know me.
And the reality of Sean is he's kind of holding back because I know deep down he was actually rooting against the USA.
Well, that's not true.
I know you. And I know you don't want to say it because then it's easier to pin you as anti-American and something's wrong with you, or you're just saying it to get attention. But I know deep down, like, as you were watching that game, you were rooting for us to lose.
Well,
to prove your point.
No. I mean, down 1-0. Did I bet Canada? I did. So, like, if the Canada had won, I would have been happy with money in my pocket. But no, I just felt no emotion. Like, everybody, like, is this prideful American, like. There was no moment after that game yesterday. I think that's what stuck with me, where I was like, this is one of the great days of watching sports in my life. I felt nothing. I just felt nothing. It does nothing for me.
I felt something. I just realized that it's not going to last a lifetime.
But you have to admit, it was a great moment for USA hockey.
No doubt about it. And it's a great moment for the sport. But again, I've been there, done that with these big tournaments where nothing is going to carry over. Like you're mentioning casuals watching the Devils. That will last like a game. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think,
how does it really grow the sport?
Right, because they stink. Right.
I think to me, and I'll use a wrestling analogy, the best WrestleMania main events have a long story, like the storyline to lead to the main event. It's long, it's winding, and then you get your payoff. And I look at sports in a very similar light. It's a long road. I mean, I spent the weekend watching Mets spring training games in late February with snow falling. And I know that road will go through March and April and May and June, July and August and September.
And tweaks to the roster and all that.
How about Bo Bichette at third base?
Yeah, I'll get to that later. All right?
Butcher.
I'll get to all that later. But it's like a 9-month investment. And then if they win or lose, it's like, my God, I've been going through this for a long time. That's the disconnect I think I have, not just with the Olympics, but with any international tournament. Like, I'm rooting for America, of course. Why would I not? I love this country, and I love the pride everybody feels. Of course, it's awesome, but it's also not that same road. And I think the road matters.
Yeah, because you don't have it. You don't have a deep invested knowledge in everything about USA hockey. It's all about the individuals, and it's about the overarching flag being held high and the gold medal being put around these guys' necks, but you don't know the details. It's just kind of like the skater I was talking about, Lou, who won the gold. Like I'll forget her. I forgot her name already. You know what I mean? Right. And it was like 2 days ago. And so, but I remember it, and her reaction was amazing. But I'm not invested, so I don't remember.
This is a judgment-free zone. how did that game make you feel? And maybe the answer is, I didn't watch it. I didn't care. Maybe the answer is, yeah, I rooted for us, and then I didn't care 5 minutes later. How did that, on a Sunday morning with the snow coming down, how did it make us all feel? We'll get your thoughts on it, 888-808-1019.